Hey kiddos, it's Mrs. Shaver and I'm doing pretty well. I'll be back on Monday. So I took some time today and I looked over what work you'd done. Some of you turned in your paper and said you were complete on your brief rights. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what I expect of you today. So today is day 2 and today you will continue to work on your brief rights. If you're finished with your brief rights, you're going to edit and revise your work. And you're going to remember that this is graded and it's going to be used on your report card. So I'm actually going to show some student work here. I will not show your name as to not embarrass people. But we're going to talk a little bit about what I expect in these brief rights. Because I was looking over some work and I was a little bit concerned. So let's look at someone's brief right. So here's a brief right that someone has. This is on the opinion piece. And here's the notes, the student notes that they have. It says students rush out the door without breakfast. Snacks can increase the brain's ability to focus. It teaches us to be responsible when cleaning up after ourselves. And snacks can be healthy. The assignment says you're supposed to write 1 or 2 paragraphs using evidence to support your idea. Here's the thing. Can I just take this one fact, students rush out the door without breakfast? Can I just make that into a sentence? And can my paragraph be this fact as a sentence, and this fact as a sentence, and this fact, and this fact? No. That's not really showing me that you know how to take information and add details to it. So let's look at what the student did. While they created sentences, let's look what sentences they created. Students don't eat at home because they don't want to be late to school and just rush out the door. Okay, that was this fact right here that they just made into a sentence. Let's look at the next one. Snacks can increase the brain's ability to focus. That sounds very familiar. While you can use that phrase, you have to add details to it. Okay, you have to give me an example. So you can't just say students don't eat at home because they don't want to be late to school and just rush out the door. Now you need to give me an example of that. Oftentimes families are very busy in the morning when they're getting ready. In fact, in my family, we sometimes don't have time to eat breakfast. You need to add details. If you just create a paragraph using the student's notes and making these into sentences, the best grade you will get from Mrs. Shaver will be a 2. You will not get a 3. You will not get a 4. Okay? Let's look at one more person's. Actually, let's look at 2 more people. So here's another person who said they're totally done. What do you notice right away when you see this, their page? Again, look at the student's notes and look at the sentences that they wrote. They literally took each one of these phrases and made it into a sentence. That would be like a 1. You're not telling me anything new. You have to take this information, the student notes, and you have to add details or examples to it, or it does not show me that you know how to write. Okay, the other thing I'm noticing is it's squiggly in red. What does that mean? These words are misspelled, and you can use the spell check to fix them. But it's not going to be a final draft, and you're not going to get a good grade if these things aren't fixed. Okay? One last one to look at. So that's not to make you feel bad. I'm giving you an opportunity to fix it. So don't feel bad if this is your paper. Okay? Last paper. Let's look at this one. Look at all the information that was in the student's notes. And on this one, they're supposed to be writing 1 paragraph about how whales live and work together. So they needed to find facts in here about how they live and work together. And this is where you have to get creative. You may have to even make up a few facts. I'm seeing, do you know how to expand your information and give me good details? Okay, this is not enough. They did not write enough for me to give them more than a 2. So if this is your paper, you need to look at what you wrote. You need to write more. You need to expand details. You need to give me information or details that are not listed in the student notes. You can make up some of the facts. It doesn't have to be researched, because I'm just seeing what your writing ability is. Okay? So I'm sorry I got a little long-winded, but I really want you guys to do your very best, because I know you can. Okay? Please don't just turn these notes into one sentence. You won't get a good grade. All right, get to writing. I know you've been very busy these last 3 days writing. Hang in there. You're doing awesome. And I will see you on Monday.